that we as Submariner, with our partners and members, have at the moment with the projects that we are involved in. But before leaving the floor to those projects and to them explaining to you how the mentoring works and how you can access it, also how you can get remuneration for mentoring, I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about kind of the history of the mentoring for us and what it means also for Submariner. So when I joined Submariners about 2 years ago, and by the way, my name is Alberto Terenzi, and I lead the business support and policy unit at Submariner. I was told about the Submariner Accelerator, which was an endeavor that was developed in the framework of two projects, where the effort was really to connect Blue Bio startups with mentors that could support them in innovating, in advancing their TRL level, their readiness, accessing the market. And basically, since then, what we try to do is really to keep this community of mentors ongoing, to keep opportunities coming. And so what we try and do is that whenever there is an opportunity to integrate mentoring into our activities, our projects, and to also integrate kind of paid support for mentors and startups, we always try to do that. So this is the spirit that we are organizing this webinar in. And as you will hear, we have also created a community for innovators, startups, mentors, Blue Bioeconomy friends called Blue Biomatch, which we will present later, because that is also kind of your showcase as blue economy experts and potentially mentors that you can use to make yourself and your activities visible, and where there is also a community that you can offer support to, but also you can receive support from, because we're not either mentors or mentees. Many times we need mentoring on something, and we can offer mentoring on something else. So the way this session is going to go is that the projects that have at the moment opportunities for mentoring will present, pitch, so to speak in startup language, their activities and the mentoring and how to access it. And basically at the end of the session, there will be also some time for questions and answers. If you have a question, please do not hesitate to write it in the chat. We will take them at the end, I think mostly, but if you don't want your thought to slip away, please post your question in the chat, and we'll make sure then to get back to it at the end. So the projects that we will be talking about today are Blue Bioclusters, then we have AlgaeProBANOS, we have Baltic Muppets, and then, as I said, we will talk about Blue Biomatch, which is our community for the blue economy. So without further ado, thanking you all again for being here, I would like to give the floor to our first project that we present today, which is Blue Biocluster with Sonia Andren from Innovatum. And Sonia, tell us a bit more about the project and what mentoring opportunities lie in it.
Great, thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen right away so we can get into the details of the project. Let's see, I'm just going to make sure everyone can see my screen. Great. So, perfect. So yes, I'm one of the partners in Blue Bioclusters, and the project itself has a larger vision of trying to support coastal regions in transition to the blue bioeconomy. And I'm coming from West Sweden, from Innovatum Science Park, so one of several partners. Looking at the project overview, we are actually quite a few partners, 12 in fact, in 9 different regions across Europe, in 3 sea basins, so in the Baltic, North Sea, and Atlantic. And the project itself has already started back in August 2022, and we are more than halfway, if you want to say, towards ending the project in July 25, but we are at that moment in the project where definitely mentorship is becoming a key component. And yes, of course, this project is coordinated by Submariner. And just for yourselves here represented today, you can already kind of see which region perhaps that you are connected to, because this will be, I'm only one of these 12 partners, and you might be representing or be represented in another region where we have other partners. So keep that in mind. And for the project itself, we have quite a few different outcomes. A lot of the project's focus is trying to provide support for SMEs and startups to actually help those coastal communities that are in a transition to a new blue bioeconomy. And we've done this through several different work packages. One of the work, oh, sorry. One of the work packages, of course, is relating much to understanding some of the circular blue bioeconomy value chains. And so we've done some work trying to visualize these and use them as tools, develop different tools for trying to also integrate these different types of understandings of the value chains into different types of tools that the companies can use. We've been working a lot with different stakeholder engagement. We've done COPs, and we're also doing a lot around technology, both understanding where are the technology needs, who are the users, and where might the technology providers actually be. And this has been a lot of us trying to also match make throughout the project, not only business development support needs, but even technology needs, and even in the larger ecosystem of or coastal community support ecosystems, trying to support across all regions. One of the main work packages, which has a lot of to do with the mentoring, is work package 5, where we're doing a lot of different activities trying to do matchmaking. So again, when we have startups and SMEs needing different types of support, if it's a technology or if it's an IP or if it's some research, trying to help them find through different networking and co-creation activities so that they can accelerate and get the business support they need. So we've done a lot of matchmaking events and we continue to do them. And one of those matchmaking events I'll tell you shortly about is our Blue Bio boot camps, where mentoring is one of the tools to also support these companies in moving forward and getting past different challenges. We're also trying to, throughout our matchmaking, even look for investors or funders and even the other types of ecosystem stakeholders that can also come in and provide different forms of support. One of the main activities that we've done now halfway through the project is we've actually coordinated some Blue Bio boot camps. And these boot camps have been an intense one-day event that we've held. Now we've had 2 of them. We had one the 24th of April in Riga in the Baltics. So our Baltic partners were able to gather their startups and many of their startup support actors. And through one day, we were able to do a little bit more intense matchmaking, trying to really understand the needs of the startups and trying to match them and coordinate a matchmaking with resources that could actually help them. We just had one here in Gothenburg, Sweden. That's the picture from our boot camp, the 29th of May. Again, startups were on site, but we were actually connecting even with startups in Iceland and in Norway through our other partners, trying to do a bit of a transnational exchange, but still the same idea, trying to understand the different needs that these startups and SMEs have, what challenges and hinders, and trying to match make with possible resources. And at the end of all of these boot camps, the idea is that is how one of the main tools we'll bring in is actually mentorship. So we're hoping now after the last boot camp as well in the Atlantic, so that'll be Portugal, France, and Belgium, that we can now take those participants on a journey towards of even deeper matchmaking and finding mentors like yourselves that we can actually then put into a paid mentorship. So the next step for many of our boot camp participants is going and trying to find that match and narrowing down on one specific area. And I mean, Blue Bio Match is one of the sites, of course, that we're going to be looking towards. And I hope that many of you after today's session will be signed up so we can find you there and perhaps find a match with some of the startups from the boot camps that we've had in the Blue Bio Clusters project. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Sonia. Thanks for also giving us a quick preview of Blue Bio Match. And again, if you have any questions, please write them in the chat and we'll get back to them at the end of the webinar. So without further ado, I would like then to leave the floor to my colleague Lydia Lins Pereira to talk about AlgaeProBANOS and its mentoring program. Lydia, the floor is yours.
Oops. Hello, everyone. Let me just share my full screen. Oh. You cannot see full screen right now, right?
No, but the slides are visible, so if it's easier, you can also just continue like that, as you prefer.
I think now it will work out. Yes. So hello everyone, I'm here to talk a little bit about the AlgaeProBANOS project and the algae accelerator we have, which is going to offer also different mentorship programs. So the AlgaeProBANOS project is a Horizon Europe project, and it focuses on the accelerating algae product in the Baltic and North Sea. So this project has different umbrellas, and the first two has innovative and algae products, the development of the different products, and 6 product pipelines. And we have the algae accelerator program, and all these different umbrellas intend to bring our TRL level from 4 to 5 to 7 to 8. We also cover this sustainability framework and development of digital tools with the co-creation with end users for this project, with SMEs, startups within the European business sector. So within the AlgaeProBANOS, we are a large project with 26 partners, and we cover both macroalgae and microalgae, and we develop 6 different lines of products focused on textile agents, cosmetics, food, aquafeed, nutraceuticals, and biostimulants. So why are we here? Why are we talking about that? And what is the importance and objectives of the Algae Accelerator? The first one is to engage algae innovators who can help speed up the markets within the project, but also outside of the project and within the European algae industry. So the intention of the accelerator is to match mentors, which would be you, with the different startups and SMEs that are going to apply to this mentorship, to this paid mentorship through an open call. So here, the funding opportunities that we have, so differently than Blue Bio clusters, which had a boot camp, here we are going to do the matchmaking through open calls. So in total, we have 2 open calls planned for this project. Each of the open calls are 100,000 euros, and each mentor will be awarded with an innovation voucher of 10,000 euros. And we are going to support up to 10 different projects. So once we have the matchmaking between the mentors and the mentees, the program will start, and it will have a duration of 6 months, which are divided in 3 different sprints. So here, just to give you an overview of how the timeline is going to work, September, October, we will have the launch of the first open call, and we will select the different startups and SMEs. We will have the selection of the different startups and SMEs, and the mentorship program will start in the beginning of next year, 2025. So what are the topics that we're interested in for this project? We have 4 different groups of mentoring services, which go from broader topics to more specific topics. So in broader topics, you can find business challenges, techno-economic challenges, marketing challenges, but also very specific challenges that are related to the algae industry. And the different startups and SMEs, they can bring challenges which are related to market uptake of the AlgaeProBANOS products, but also general challenges that are related to boost the algae industry in Europe. And the mentorship will happen through the Blue Biomatch platform, and that's what we're going to talk later today. So I guess, that's it for me.
Thanks, Lydia. Thanks so much. Yes, yet again, more opportunities. And there's one more project where opportunities are, which is Baltic Muppets. Our colleague Maya Milter should be here with us. Maya, would you like to tell us more about Baltic Muppets?
Yes, for sure. Everybody can hear me? You can see the presentation?
Yes, all great.
Amazing. I'm Maya Nuttall. I also work at Submarinair, and I work with the Baltic Muppets project, which is an SME I3 project. It's 3 years. We're kind of halfway right now. So we're going to run until December 2025. We have a budget of approximately 7.3 million, and about 100,000 of that is cascade funding, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. But just a short overview of the Baltic Muppets project is the Baltic Muppets stands for Baltic Muscle Products for Pet Foods. What we're trying to do is promote muscle farming as a measure to tackle eutrophication. And to do this, our aim is really to create new value chains for small mussels in the Baltic Sea region. And the product that we have chosen is pet food. This is based on the previous project, which showed that, for example, feed for food stock is not really high enough to create sustainable business models for the small mussels. So now we are targeting the pet food industry instead. This is our consortium. It's really full value chain consortium. So we have the mussel farmers, we have users of the mussels, we also have side stream users. So Grobruket, for example, are trying to use the shells from the mussels to make also high value products. And we have retailers, we have universities, and so on. But to what we are supposed to talk about today, we have the third-party financing, or the cascade funding, 100,000 euros that we are supposed to channel to SMEs or startups to create sustainable business strategies to foster testing or market replication or product validation. To promote the future sustainability and exploitability of the Baltic Muppets results. What we also have in the project is the training and mentoring tasks. So we want to accelerate innovation and market access in the mussel sector. And what we have decided, now the presentation is not showing, right?
No, I think it's on your screen.
Yeah, because I can't see it. 1 second. I will keep talking in the meantime. What we have decided to do is that we've decided to we have decided to join these two activities together. So within our mentoring, or within our third-party financing, we're going to add this training and mentoring section to it. So it's going to be very similar to what you heard Lydia talk about in the AlgaeProBANOS, but part of the third-party financing we're actually going to channel towards training or mentoring activities. What has to be fulfilled is that the training or mentoring has to be aligned with the project goals, obviously, and the aim that I talked about, this would, of course, be more described in the call, but also the beneficiary has to be part of one of the S3 regions, and this is a requirement from the I3 program, and the S3 regions that we have in the project are Stockholm and Kalmar in Sweden. We have Berlin in Germany, also the Kiel area. We have all 5 regions of Denmark, and then we also have Estonia. So any beneficiary of receiving funding has to be part of one of these areas. We have started to kind of make a big overview of the challenges that the partners in the project have. These are some of the challenges that we have identified so far. And any one of the applications they should be aligned with these challenges, trying to solve one of the problems that have been experienced by the partners. This is really a preliminary definition, and it's going to be more defined as we get out with the call. But just to get an idea, it can be a strategy on how to overcome barriers. It can be business strategies. It could be recommendations for certifications or aiding certification to improve the production of mussels or to get the products out on the market, or go-to-market strategies with assessments of target groups or willingness to pay or anything like that. This is the preliminary time plan that we have right now. We're right in the middle of defining the challenges and defining the call. This should be done at the end of the summer. And we are planning to launch the call in the start of October this year. The call will be 2 months, and at the end of November, hopefully, we will start the evaluation and eligibility process and choose the applications that can receive the funding. And the mentoring activity should be 4 months, starting earliest February 2025. So this is kind of the plan that we have now. Well, yeah, you can look forward to the call later in the beginning of fall. And just let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Maya. And again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat and we'll address them at the end. And now you will hear about the platform where all of these opportunities will also be flagged and publicized, which is Blue Biomatch. I'm seeing people registering as we speak, which is a great sign. But I would like to give the floor to my colleague Silvia Tosato to tell us a bit more, how to get onto Blue Biomatch and sign up as a mentor there. Silvia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alberto. Yes, so by now you've already heard about this exciting platform, but here is just a quick recap of what we are really talking about. So we have this platform that is specifically dedicated to you who are working in the blue bioeconomy, whether you're a researcher, a company, or also a funder maybe, and are looking to connect with others within this innovation ecosystem. And the idea is to really have an overview of what projects, products, and just all of the news that are going on currently in all of the blue bioeconomy sectors. So I know that a lot of you are here specifically because you're interested in the mentorship opportunities. So with the mentorship module, you're able to create a profile, which you can access under the Connect menu. And here, especially if you provide mentees are able to kind of access all of your profiles and get an idea of where you're located, what type of skills you have, and are able to also read a short personal statement in which you're able to describe in a few words kind of like what you can offer your support in. So here I created a quick registration video of how when you access the platform, you access from the live feed version, and then by clicking on the menu at the top, you're able to access the mentorship module. So if you're already registered, if you're not yet a registered mentor, you get to click on the apply to be a mentor button, and in there you just ask to fill out your personal statement, which can be around 200 and 250 characters. So once you're able to write down your statement here, you send your applications, and then we from the backend will review it just to make sure that you are including the right information, and then at that point you will be visible in the mentorship overview that I showed before. So the benefits overall of being on the platform, besides of course being available for these opportunities, it's also that you really get to connect with over 450 users, but most importantly, you are able to also filter these users. And once you publish events and other opportunities, you're able to directly reach out to a unique audience of specialists that maybe focus in a specific industry or in a specific role that you might specifically want to connect with. So let's say that you're looking for somebody who is a provider, a technology provider that works in the domain of the animal feed. The platform allows you to kind of filter out through all of these users and being able to directly visualize who of these, in this case, 4 users, is really could be a good contact point for any of your questions in this regard. Besides that, we also have a very lively environment of working groups. Right now, we have various working groups, specifically the algae working group, which is actually directly managed by my colleagues that also presented before with AlgaeProBANOS. But we also have the mussels working group as well as other ones that are dedicated to sustainable fisheries, biotechnology, and women in the blue bioeconomy. You can find out more about the working groups also through the menu bar at the top. And I saw that a number of you already registered, but if you haven't had the opportunity to do so, just an overview of how this works. And you get to fill out the registration form. And this is very important because at this stage, you include all of the informations which are important to be able to be filtered and reached out by others that might be interested into your work. After that, we review all applications to make sure that you have a link to the blue bioeconomy or to the blue economy. And then you will get to add some more details on your profile. So here you should be able to access this link if you haven't yet have the profile and register to your to the platform. Or we also have recently launched a mobile app which you can download by using the QR code on the right hand. Just very quickly, in case some of you also have a product that you're interested in showcasing on the platform, we're working on also developing a showcase for sustainable products from the blue bioeconomy. And if you're interested and have something that you would like to showcase there, there is a jot form that you can fill out if you follow this QR code here. Yes, and I'm also happy to answer any questions that you might have to the platform in general. And I see that a lot of you are registering, so very, very good.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Silvia. Yes, and indeed, Blue Biometrics is where the action happens. So it's a platform that we've really created and we are nurturing and expanding for you. So please make it your own and use it also to promote your initiatives and communicate with the stakeholders that you need to conduct your work and to, why not create maybe new business opportunities. I see that Susanne has some questions in the chat. So one is about if the mentoring goes beyond these initiatives and is integrated and part of a structured program, and if we have designed integrated programs so that the mentorship is an aligned tool for the projects and teams. So to these, I mean, I can let also my colleagues from the projects respond, but basically the idea that we have is that, I mean, the overarching kind of tool would be what we try to call the submarine accelerator. We are not an organization that receives kind of continuous funding from a funder for the acceleration program. So what we try and do is to engineer this into the projects. So of course, the mentoring within the projects changes a little depending on the scope of the project, on the value chains that the project addresses, on the TRL level that the project tackles. So of course, there will be some differences, but what we try and do is to basically also follow up then with the startups informally, also beyond the project, make them part of the network so that we can also follow them and see how they develop in the longer term. But indeed, for the projects, we need to always work with the kind of framework conditions that we have. In terms of the mentor onboarding, yes, there will be mentor onboarding once they are selected for the projects. I don't know if here any of the colleagues that presented the projects want to add something. Yes, Sonia?
Yeah, I can just say for Blue Bio Clusters, it is a very short injection of mentorship that the project is being able to afford to the startups. And the boot camps are one of the entrance points for us coming in contact with more startups. And for the mentors, what we'll be doing is defining very specific kind of smaller challenges because the mentorship is over a very short period of time. And so each region will have to assess the needs of each startup and then with that specific need, try to look for a match through Blue Biomatch or through a regional network to try and get that mentorship for the short time, just to help the company with 1 or 2 very small sort of, scope-wise, being able to package them up in a short time frame. And then, it's a way of first also saying we need to introduce the startup to the mentor as part of the onboarding process. Is it a correct match? Ensuring that, and then each regional actor will have the opportunity to organize a contract, in that case, specifically for that mentor and that startup or SME who needs to get past that specific challenge, defined challenge. So that's how we're kind of organizing it within the Blue Bio clusters, because we're very broad, as I mentioned in the chat, many different value chains. It's not just startups. It could be accelerated. It could be a scale up. We're kind of very broad range in the Blue Bio Clusters project in terms of companies that we're working with and their needs for mentorship.
Yes, for AlgaeProBANOS, we have a longer time frame. We are working with a longer time frame there, and we have 2 calls. But as it is an Horizon Europe project, we also need to think about the sustainability of this matchmaking that is happening, of this mentorship program that it's happening. And indeed, we're also going to have a match between the startups and SMEs that are going to be selected through the open call with the mentors that are also going to be selected through the Blue Biomatch platform.
Yeah, I don't know if I should add anything else, but Muppets, we're still looking into how we're gonna exactly define this call and also the setup of the call. But for us, the mentoring program per se is gonna have a limited time of 4 months, because that's what we have defined in our GA for the third-party financing. But then, of course, I mean, the results of the mentoring is supposed to be kind of beyond the project, hopefully.
Thanks so much. And yeah, there is a question still from Susanne about the selection criteria. I don't know if any of you would like to go into that in terms of the projects.
Well, it depends if it's the selection criteria of the mentors or the mentees. But for AlgaeProBANOS, for example, we have a combination between more general challenges and more specific challenges. So if the mentor has an expertise that is closer to the challenges that we are looking for, then of course this mentor would have higher chances for matching with the startup that's selected for this specific challenge. So we have 2 selection criteria here that will use 2 different sets of eligibility criteria, one for the mentors and one for the startups and SMEs.
Yes, and I can just continue from Blue Bio Clusters. So there was a selection process for us being done just in the fact that we were choosing participants for our boot camps. And then, of course, from the boot camps, we're selecting those participants who are regionally based, and we can actually define a specific challenge that can be handled with a mentorship of such a short time frame. So I can give an example. One mentorship will actually be for one of the companies that's needing to put together a sales and distribution strategy for a product that they're producing. And so the mentorship is very specific about helping out and being a ball plank for that company and creating their sales strategy and distribution. Another was also around investment, and they needed support in trying to communicate to a specific investor group. So some of the challenges that we're trying to package up are quite specific. So you as a mentor, you actually don't necessarily need to have a lot of blue. We want people within the blue, of course, but if you are like, for example, you're working with investment, that is already qualifications that would be interesting for a potential startup that's looking just for support in their investment journey.
Maybe to the projects to answer. I know who would like to go first.
For Baltic Muppets, it's going to have to be part of the S3 regions that I mentioned, because this is not the I3 program is set up. So that's really a limitation for us, that the mentoring has to be given within these regions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Blue Bio Clusters and AlgaeProBANOS. I know Sonia, Lydia, who would like to?
For AlgaeProBANOS, we are focusing on the North and Baltic Sea. So it's not internationally, but it's a little bit broader than Baltic Muppets, for example.
Okay. Yes.
And for Blue Bio clusters, I mean, they are regional actors. And again, we're 3 sea basins. But I think the main criteria will be that you understand that startup's needs, or you have something to contribute to that startup's needs. So as I'm saying too, if you are, for example, capable of an investment journey, or you have background in some kind of sales distribution in the EU for a certain type of product line, then yeah, I think you would qualify, of course, as a possible match, regardless of where the startup is. So, but that's why we need to have everyone on Blue Bio Match for us to find you there, because we'll be doing kind of a check with some criteria. So if I have a startup and I know what need they have, I'm going to first go into Blue Bio Match and start to say, okay, well, who has that sort of potential background? And then I'll be contacting you, and then we'll follow up from there.
Okay.
But I mean, it's quite a broad program. So we are covering many different countries, but again, many different value chains and many different needs. So we really need to have a broad range of mentors that we can access. So sign up on Blue Bio Match. Hopefully I can find you there.
Yeah, absolutely. You will.
Yeah, I just wanted to add here that also for AlgaeProBANOS, there is a huge need that we have identified with partners for business support, for scaling up their business. It seems that there is quite some technical knowledge. The technical knowledge is mostly defined, but how to scale up their business. So a lot of business support is needed. And that's what we have identified. So it doesn't really matter from which sector you come from, if you have the expertise to help in that sense.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
very much.
Perfect. I don't know if there is one super quick last question, because we are very close to the end of today's webinar. If not, anyway, now you know where to find us and each other, Blue Bio Match, yet again. So I would like to thank you all for being here. One thing that I would like to say is that, of course, now these are the projects that at the minute have paid mentorship opportunities that we can involve you through. But as I like to say, innovation is not a sprint, it is a marathon with some sprints within, but it is a longer process. So that's also why, and there was also a question in the chat about that, how to ensure continuity. That is why we have Blue Bio Match. So Blue Bio Match is not a project funding, release project funding, but we pull resources from different projects to ensure that it is a platform that stays on time and where new opportunities can be created. And then, of course, as new projects will be acquired, hopefully we will also have new opportunities coming up. But basically, it all starts with getting in touch. Sometimes maybe you start and you talk to a startup just, out of your good heart to start with, and then they win some mentorship funds that then they can use to continue the conversation with you in a more structured way. So what I'm saying is, of course, the opportunities that we have at hand are now those that are the low-hanging fruits, the easy wins. But by being part of this community and engaging with it, you can also get longer-term benefits. Silvia also mentioned that there are working groups on Blue Bio Match on specific topics, algae, mussels, fish. So if these are the topics that you're interested in, of course, please do join those working groups. There are calls that are organized periodically for you to exchange with other experts and get in conversation. So this is really what we want to do. We want to empower the innovation ecosystem in all of its facets to carry on and move forward. With that, I would like to thank you all for being here. And if you have more questions, please, yes, either write to Lotta as she wrote, or find us on Blue Bio Match, and let's continue the discussion there. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.